of Kittens and Broken Things, Chapter 38. Kara absorbed powerful experiences and regained some balance, in theory with more stability, or at least with more education. The aftermath of bonding chemistry was managed. She had her appetite back and felt her mind reassert herself, thankfully, as though she had had broken wings that had healed. She'd mourn their loss. Then when they were strong enough again, she could feel the lift of the wind under them, ever precious, and now longed for and regained. She needed to get in touch with her crew. She needed to set her next mission, and she realized she had never informed Tali Zora that she was alive again. Instead of continuing to hide and hoping to die before admitting that, she requested Tali's contact frequency from the Admiralty Board. She heard back in 8 hours. "Shepard, I saw what you did with the collector ship. It's great to see you. Are you well?" "I am, Tali. Thank you. I'm sorry I didn't get in touch earlier." "That's okay. I imagine you've been very busy." "I have. Are you well?" "I'm an admiral now." "Congratulations." "Thank you." Garrus helped. He helped a lot. He coordinated with me as a representative for the flotilla. That led to my admiralty and a better relationship with council races. More legitimacy. My father and I have been working on the technical aspects of the indoctrination issue, scanning and detection methods. Quarians, for once, seem to have our isolation working for us. Difficult to breach suits, to indoctrinate us. Difficult to infiltrate the ships. Are you happy? I am. I am working with my father. Tali, I'm so happy for you. Thank you so much. I had a better few years than you did. Yeah, but you got a lot more done. I'm a bit behind here. I need to catch up. I'd ask if you need help, and I know you do, and I know I can't. I'm needed here. Kara shook her head. You're already doing the best you can from the best place, Tali. I'm so happy for you. I'm sorry I didn't get in touch sooner. Garrus told me he's been keeping you busy. Kara grinned. That he has. So you don't have anybody from the original crew except for Caden, huh? Yes, but I've got a great crew. Seems all my original crew became absolutely indispensable where they were, stayed in the fight, and did everything they could. Caden did amazing work in the Alliance. They just loaned him back to me. I know I don't have a right to it, but I am so proud of you. I'm so proud to be able to say, stay where you are, Tali. Your people need you. They do, and I need them. Hey, I have a question. Well, more of a confession, I guess. It might be part of why it took me so long to talk to you. Well, I always worried about taking you out on a mission. And I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to get you sick. Is that racist? I No, I don't think that's racist. Back then it was about what we had to do. Now it seems you have more time and support, and I want to be that support still, and even if it is painful to admit, I don't have the immune system for the front lines. If there's a choice. Now you have Council support, Alliance support, even Spectre support. You have better options, more options. Even then, well, you still took me out, even though you didn't need to. You made me feel useful. I was proud. You're a better hacker than I am. What? No way. You hacked a gun on the Citadel in our way to Saren. A gun! A huge turret that would have torn us to shreds, but instead you turned it on them. Yeah, yeah, I did. That was terrifying and wonderful, but yes, very dangerous, and it's just realistic that I'd be more at risk. I'm trying to be, well, I have a lot more to live for now. My people need me here, and I'm not as ready to take that risk as I was before. I will tell you, Shepard, that being in your crew changed my life for the better. Garrus, being a counselor, changed the galaxy for the better, and I consider myself living proof of that. I know he wouldn't have been if it weren't for you. I know that we all kept you alive as much as we could every day when you weren't. I wish I'd talked to you more. I wanted to. I really wanted to. I didn't want to pester you. I had no idea. I'm sorry about that too. I didn't want to die, again, without telling you how much your help meant to me, how I couldn't have got it done without you, and how now I hope you are somewhere safe doing your thing and happy. That is great news. I don't want to risk that, and I know you would, but please don't. I'm afraid. I'm afraid I really like you, Tally. You're the sort of person I always wanted to protect, whether or not you want me to. I do. I hope you want me to. I hope you take it as an inspired compliment on your character and not a condemnation of your constitution. I will. Thank you, Shepard. I know I can't haul across the galaxy, but I wish I could. I wish I could see you, and I wish I could. I should have given you a huge hug before you left. I thought it would be intrusive. It would have been wonderful. Good luck on your mission, Shepard. Please don't die. Please stay in touch. Please find your way. I know that from every one of us that have become indispensable, we owe it to you. And I know I'm only alive because my team made me look so good. We're still your team. She would really rather chew on Ezo shards, but she decided to again be a grown-up and go speak to Russ. She waited until evening and knocked softly on his cabin door. He opened it, looked at her impassively, and gestured her in. She sat at the edge of a chair that was too big for her and said, I haven't spoken to you a great deal. Just to make it clear, Edie is aware of my relationship with Garrus, my relationship with Thane. I trust her, and I believe she won't tell anybody anything. I don't want to pressure you to speak to me here. That's your call entirely. We can meet off the ship if you want. Russ gritted his teeth for a moment and then said, No, go ahead. I imagine if Edie wanted us dead or your circumstances, anybody on the ship's circumstances to be public knowledge, we'd be dead already and there'd be videos circulating of me in my shower. Well, that's probably is the most interesting thing happening. Russ smiled, but it didn't meet his eyes. I wanted to apologize for the position you were put in and the part I played in that. I didn't know, but that isn't an excuse. I'm afraid interpersonal relationships have not been anything approaching what should be expected from a Spectre and a commanding officer. I wanted to make sure, really sure, that you still want to be here. Well, I know it's hard to tell Garrus no, but you can tell me no, and I can relay it. Now I sound like my interpersonal relationships are not approaching what should be expected from a Spectre. Well, yeah, I'm not sure how to get this across without potentially adding insult to injury. You're an extraordinary crew member. The Ferex is an extraordinary asset, and I think you've done enough. If you think you've done enough, if you want your own command, I support that. Thank you. But no, I'll see this out. Okay, and I wanted to say, I didn't say it before, and maybe I'm completely out of line, but thank you for taking care of him while I was gone. I didn't do it while I was alive. Russ's eyes narrowed, simultaneously insulted and curious. It is out of line. Yeah, I'm an asshole. Knew him longer than you did. Yeah, I'd thought he'd forgotten me, but Garrus confided in me. Look, I know I saw him first isn't a valid argument here, but he's from my species. He's from my world. He changed my world. He earned my loyalty and my love. He talked about you a lot. A lot went unsaid, but I knew what those marks on his crest meant. I was already on the Citadel and working with him before you died. I saw the change in him. I knew he was in love with you, and although he didn't say you were in love with him in return, there's no way he'd bond with you without... I'm saying you must have taken care of him at some point. He wouldn't have been counselor or even executor without you, would he? Meaning that however it was you took care of him, it was you that made it possible for me to work with him or become a specter. I'm not the sharpest thorn on the tree sometimes, particularly in present company, but there's a lot the man didn't say but felt. And I was around him when he felt it, when he got drunk, and when he said too much, and when he still didn't say what he wanted to say because he was busy protecting your memory. So how about you tell me how you took care of him in a way that resulted in him being counselor and him believing you were in love with him? I know they're true. I also know he wouldn't tell me because that truth is yours. But if you're here and you're sorry and you want me to understand, then prove it. While the Citadel was waiting for a verdict on my loyalty, or lack thereof, I took the time to exploit a technical loophole in the Citadel's security systems. I spent a few weeks doing nothing much else, besides asking Garrus what it was he wanted to do with his life, and making sure he got it. I accessed council files, hierarchy files, everything attached, and everything was attached. I delivered it all to Garrus and told him how he could go about becoming executor, the job he said he wanted, and then counselor, the job I thought he deserved. I would have got inspector for him if he'd wanted, but I thought he'd be less effective, what with the council being composed of ineffective and obstructionist people. I was in love with him. I have been for a very long time. Not as long as you, I know, but long enough to qualify. I always will be. I left a will. A very difficult to find will, and he found it. He knew I wanted more time with him. He knew I wanted his happiness and success more than anything I wanted for myself. For me, that meant he needed to take care of his mother. He needed to make his father proud. He needed to be counselor, find a bondmate, be an example for every other Taurian out there. I thought Palavin deserved the best. I thought he deserved the best. I knew he couldn't express interest in me if I didn't express it first, so I didn't. I knew I was not the best for him. But that's the thing with recording that will. It was a whim, and I didn't expect anybody to find it, and I didn't expect that there would be consequences to my confessions. Well, fuck. I didn't know what I expected, but definitely not that. So all the times he knew things he's not supposed to know, his political genius, insider information. Not that he isn't a genius, but it was made possible by having dossiers on everybody and keeping them up to date with Liara's help. Spirits fucking come to tell. She smiled. So, yeah, I saw him first, and that means exactly nothing, because I never would have seen him again if... That doesn't mean you love him any less. Really, why would you care about that? You won. Even dead, you won. It wasn't and isn't about winning. It's the love that matters. That's why I wanted to thank you. If he'd found a female bondmate while I was gone, if he'd found you, that would hurt, but I'd want him to be happy. I also want you to be happy and not feel trapped. I hope you're proud of the fact that you've made him very happy. It's irritating. Mea culpa. I am sorry about Thane. I had no idea that he... Well, unfortunately, this is the great at hacking, excellent at shooting people, interpersonal relationships a bust thing going on with me. I suppose I know a few things about adapting to difficult circumstances in an interpersonal relationship. Look, Thane did what he had to do, what with me being a jealous, suspicious asshole. Not that Thane isn't also a complete prick who shouldn't be trusted. He'd agree with you there. So why do you trust him? Trust is a complicated subject, but need isn't. First time around, I had Garrus. Who was always there because I insisted on taking him everywhere. He carried me out of Noveria when I was so stupid. I decided being commander meant always being the most prominent, badass person under all circumstances. I didn't let Garrus take up the rear, despite his plate and armor. I was inexperienced in my command and focused on appearance rather than substance. I was blinded by the Shepard as badass myth myself, and that taught me not to lie to myself. Rachni took out the back of my knee. Having Garrus around meant I was able to make a colossal mistake like that because he was watching, and he pulled me along with him, and without him, I'd have died there. I trust Garrus with my life, and beyond that, my heart and my head. Here, on this ship, I don't have Garrus anymore. I can't afford to make a mistake. I can't afford one mistake, one lapse in judgment, one split-second error. I don't have him, and I need Thane because he... It turns out he protected me on the collector ship from you, and I didn't even know it. He also gestured for me to walk ahead of him on the way out, and I did it. I've learned some things about my own vulnerability and the fact that I can't afford to try to oversell myself as Shepard. Maybe Thane can't be trusted because he has 10 motivations when I can only see 2, but I need him and the way he sees. He would have known not to let me take up the rear in the first place in Noveria, and regardless of my opinion about it, would have told me so, or made it happen his way. In a way, I require his insubordination as a substitute for Garrus's absolute loyalty. With Garrus, I had someone who supported me no matter what I did, out of loyalty and love. With Thane, I have someone who supports me up to the point until I make a critical lapse in judgment, someone constantly checking my logic and willing to disagree. That's the reason why. Now, in you, I have someone who neither loves me nor checks my logic, disagrees with me on nearly everything, but who executes my orders as given. I need that too. But you don't trust me. We have no basis for trust, as of yet. You don't know me. We don't have a relationship. I've only worked with 3 people who know me as a person and not as a commander. Garrus didn't know me before I died. If he hadn't bonded to me, I'd still be insisting that he find a lovely Taurian woman or man. Had I known about you, I would have tried to matchmake if I could. You would be good for him. I am not. Liara learned about me through embracing eternity. Thane stole everything he wanted to know. Now you know because I owe it to you based on the circumstances we find ourselves in. If I could have gotten away with never telling anybody ever who I was, I'd prefer it that way. I'd rather not tell you. I'd rather not knock on your door. I'd rather not point out that I need you for your potential, but know nothing about you as a person except what was stolen and revealed. You know things about me I'd rather you didn't know. I know things about you I'd rather not know because you didn't choose to tell me. You and I have not made a good team. You aren't loyal, and I can't use your tactical analysis and willingness to stake your life on the outcome. So I'm a big grunt with a gun and a blue flare. What I need to know is, are you going to be a big grunt with a gun and a blue flare pointed the right direction? We don't meet in all that many places to have lots in common. You'd mutilate me in the ring. I'd mutilate you at chess. We're not going to be doing either of those things for fun because challenge is interesting, but slaughter isn't. I'm not going to appeal to you to pity me or consider my feelings or be in the fight for any other reason than that you want to be in the fight. Being a big grunt with a gun and a blue flare is something I'd love to add to my resume, but I won't get the chance. I'm a big brain. That's mostly it. Had I been a big grunt with a big brain, a big gun, and a blue flare, I would not have required a replacement knee. Maybe I wouldn't have required a replacement life. I'll be pointed the right direction. Here, take a look at this. He activated his Omni tool. Pictures of a young Turian girl, acid burns on her body, missing an arm. Her name is Girlar, but her family calls her Rala. He cycled through pictures. Her in the hospital, her hide burns and scars clearing, being fitted for a new arm, pictured with her family. Those are Clan Yansak markings. I hadn't seen them in a while, and I couldn't tell her I was from her clan because I'm not. Not anymore. But she was pulled out of one of those pods on the collector ship. She was on that ship for 2 years. Now she's alive, and others like her, back with their families and fixed up because you did something miraculous. I could say improbable and be an asshole, but it was a miracle. To these people, to me. Yeah, from the inside, miracles look really messy, and I would bet against them, but that's what makes them miracles. I understand why Garrus loves you. I'm jealous as hell, but I understand, and I am facing the right way. Okay, then. That's all I need. I don't have to be nice to Krios, do I? I'd still recommend it as a practice. He's scary. Yeah, he is. This isn't a garden party. Whatever that is. Sorry, party in a garden? Must be a human thing. You guys never have parties in gardens? Maybe. I must have missed out on that tradition. I didn't go to parties before the Cabal, and the Cabal didn't have gardens. Okay, yeah, I guess I grew up garden heavy. I'm still not going to be the best at knocking on your door. In fact, I'll probably avoid it. Nothing personal. I avoid it with everyone. If you can manage the Miracle Factory as it is, messy, unstable, but absolutely determined, then I'd be happy to extend your stay aboard the Normandy. If you can't, I'll also be happy to release you and the Ferrex to pursue aiding people like Rala. You're a good man in difficult circumstances, and I will only make them more difficult as time goes by. I'm in. I'm good. All right. Thank you for your time. If you'd call me Russ, I'd appreciate it. Got off badly there. I'd like to make it easier. Okay. Please call me Lal if you feel the circumstances permit it. Okay. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm gonna go hide now. Lal, thank you. For Garrus's success, for mine, for giving me another chance after I blew my first, second, and third. You didn't blow it. Yeah, I did. I'll do better. I believe you. For the record, I think you're good for him. Thank you, Russ. She went back to her quarters and sorted through some of her alerts, one of which was bizarre. 4 sets of coordinates in the Armstrong cluster. Quick check of her logs and memory, and she was sure. Yeah, that's where they'd taken down Geth outposts. Then excerpts from information she'd taken from that base. Then the words, "We wish to make contact with the coordinates to the base at Sulcrum." She asked Thane to take a look at it and to explain the significance. She asked, "Trap?" Most likely. It could be a Quarian who got the information from Tally. What would be the purpose of luring you there? That's the essence of trap, isn't it? There are many people who would wish to make contact with you. Many of them should not be given the opportunity to make contact. It's very strange, though. Why establish the 4 previous spots of Geth incursion, then? Why not just pick Sulcrum? Perhaps to grant more legitimacy to the request. But it's useless information in that context, then. There has to be a reason. Or it could be a trap, Le Somme. Let me try something. She returned a request politely phrased. Please provide video interface to discuss reason for meeting and motivation for meeting. Secure channel ensured. She forgot it, got ready for bed, talked to Garrus, and had the aching loss of being alone in bed thinking about him. Thane often came in later, after she'd fallen asleep. She took all of Dr. Chakwats's recommendations, so her sleep had evened out, and aching addiction was still psychological, but not bitingly physical. Now it was just being hopelessly in love. An alert came in, and she had flagged that contact for a louder alarm, about 2 a.m. ship time. What she got was something she did not think she'd see. A Geth. It said, "Shepard Commander." And here she was in jammies. Granted, expensive jammies, but... She combed her hair back with fingertips, blinked a few times, and answered. Thane, rising curiously from the couch, unclear if he'd been sleeping or meditating or awake already. Who am I speaking to? We are Geth. Who's we? How many? There are 1,183 Geth in this platform. What platform? This platform. Where's the platform? Here. She blinked. We need to define terms. A platform in human speech can be a physical structure that in this case would be able to support 1,183 Geth. Yes. All right. And what do 1,183 Geth wish to say to me? You oppose the old machines. Define terms again. Old machines in this context? You call them Reapers. Yes, I oppose them. I've also opposed quite a few Geth. You pointed out in your message how many of them I have killed? We did not intend that association. Only the association with Geth. You wanted me to think I'd be meeting with a Geth? Contact is problematic, Shepard Commander. We cannot meet you on the Citadel. No, I suppose not. CSEC would have an interesting day. We do not wish to be interesting. I can imagine. From my side, Sulcrum looks like an obvious trap. Is it possible to meet you in an alternate location? Affirmative. Contact is priority. Location is secondary. You require an atmosphere. Thank you for considering that. I also require acceptable security. I'm willing to meet you in an alternate location, but the other 1,182 Geth are not welcome. We are Geth. I heard that part. We are Geth in this platform. He gestured to his body and then an awkward tap at his head. One platform, many Geth. And what do they have to say? You oppose old machines. We oppose old machines. Sounds like a starting point. I am nervous about landing blind in a place that could be trapped and reinforced for attack. As are we. So, not my ship, not Fulcrum. Acceptable. Not the Citadel. Nowhere that you will be at risk, or I will be at risk. Acceptable. Do you have a shuttlecraft? We do. All right. Meet me here. One shuttlecraft scanning enabled. One platform inside. One me with a Turian and a Drell. I guarantee I will only be there to talk. Forgive me if I do not trust your intentions enough to go alone. I do wish to talk, though. If you don't shoot, I won't shoot. That is acceptable. All right, then. We will rendezvous in 14 hours. That is acceptable, Shepard, Commander. She signed off. She relayed coordinates to Edie. Thane stood with a raised brow ridge and a smile. He did not realize he was smiling until she turned to him and said, "Got a date with a Geth!" Then she plumped her pillow and went back to sleep. He stood for a long moment, watching her sleep, then moved back to the couch, sat, and considered. His mind had been consumed often lately with red and black and violet, his hand on her thigh, unspoken and hanging like a garland about his mind. She was potential and proven Dralatham in form and deed. He found treasures in memories around her, his small, sleep-disheveled Lassam negotiating with a Geth, nonchalantly now one of them. Erica's voice came to him slowly with some horror.
Is she insane?
I believe so, yes.
And what is to be done about that?
Nothing. Sanity has not appeared to order the worlds in a way that is sufficient to the challenge that faces us.
You need not enjoy it so much, Tasak.
No, but I do.
You wish to meet a Geth?
I wish to behold her meeting a Geth.